Howdy folks, how you going? Thanks for joining me. Doing a taster on this beer today. This is it's a pretty special taster. This is a bottle of the 2022 Australian Home Brewing Championships Best in Show. I managed to get my hands on the bottle, and I'm going to tell you about it, and we'll have a bit of a taster in just a second. But before we do that, big shout out to Little John's patrons. Thank you guys for your support. There's a link down the bottom if you're interested in having a look at what it's all about. If you subscribe to the channel, thank you. If you're not, hit the subscribe button. Don't miss any videos. Get to see me drink yummy beers. Sometimes I make yummy beers. Either way, if you like what's going on, give us a thumbs up. Quick story on this beer. This beer was brewed by a fellow by the name of David Hall, who, though we won't hold against him, is from Tasmania, and clearly entered this beer in his state competition. This beer is brewing of a version of Tsar's Revenge Imperial Stout, which is one of the Jamils. I'm not even going to try to say his name without having it in front of me, but he got the recipe out of Brewing Classic Styles. I've just brought the recipe up just for a point of reference, but from the information that David's given me, it's not right up on the recipe itself, so I'm not going to go really too hard into that. But what he tells me, he popped, well, didn't tell me this directly, he popped it up onto Little John's Brewing group, which is the private group connected to Little John's Brewing Facebook page. If you aren't in that group, get on there and have a look and get on. Another place to come and chat and discuss beer things a bit more directly than this bloody YouTube carry on. But anyway, he brewed that. He's brewed it with about, he's saying about half the gravity's come from dry malt extract, which is why I'm not going to go too close with the recipe. He's fermented it with SO4. The recipe actually says Y is 1056, so basically liquid version of USO5. And he says the yeast gave out at a 1035. He says we're only about 8.5% ABV, and he bottled it anyway. Now, the recipe tells me they're aiming for about 12-ish%, and a 1029 finish. So he's fallen fairly short of that target gravity, and again, not really a concern, but just for interest. So he's saying he was worried that we were finishing so high that he was basically making bottle bombs. So he stuck it away in his, well, it doesn't say where he stuck it away, but he stuck it away in plastic boxes with lids on, and left it there. And it said, they sat there for about 14 months. Well, it's 14 months now, so it sat for probably something in the vicinity of 12 months before he ended in the state comp. He got a third in the strong stout category at the Tasmanian state titles, and then went on to get first place in the same category, obviously, 135 points out of 150. So that's the equivalent of 45 out of 50 average from 3 judges. That's a bloody big score. 9 out of 10. If you want to rate it that way, don't get many beers getting that sort of score anywhere. He beat out Barry Cranston, the world famous Barry Cranston, who took out second in the strong stout, got 134 points. So nudged him by 1 point. Come the nationals though, yeah, they thought it was bloody good enough to be yeah, best in show. What do they call it? Champion Beer Show. That's what they call it. So he posted up, and everyone's saying good on you, mate. Well done, blah blah blah. And I just sneakily, said actually, well, that was I feel I need a bottle of this nectar. And over the preceding little bit of backwards and forwards between myself and David, and here it is. Turned up here a couple of days ago. So David, mate, thank you very much. He was concerned about sending it. I don't think he'd ever sent beers before, but she got here. So let's not muck around too much more. Let's sort of get into this. Now, it's got number 15 on top, which means nothing to anybody, but just to confirm with David that I'm actually drinking his beer. batch number 15. Now, this has been sitting out of my fridge for now 35 minutes. I didn't want it at fridge temp, want to let it warm up a little bit, so we can let the flavours develop properly. So, nice little bit of gas on opening. Okay, she looks nice and black. There's no lack of darkness there. Oh, some nice ruby there as it's pouring. Okay, it's no. I don't know what his bottling process is. There's sort of been no mention of that. So, but there's nothing in the bottom of that bottle. No crap seem to come out. So he's obviously bottling from a pressure fermenter or from a keg. Let's see how she's come up. And yeah, true Russian Imperial Stout. She's pretty black. There's a little bit of ruby highlight on the very fringes, but for the most part, that's quite a dark beer. A nice, lovely head, which is a nice combination of sort of creamy and frothy. Not a real big nose on it. It's nice, chocolate, creamy. It's a very smooth nose. No sort of savage. It's not like you can get coffee and bitter astringent sort of notes from the black grains. There's none of that. Again, I think obviously having a fair whack of DME in there would certainly help with that. But he's only saying dry malt extract, so I'm assuming it's only light. So he's obviously used malt to get the darkness. So there hasn't been a skimp on there. So yeah, now the head's starting to just settle a little bit. The frothiness has come out of it, and it's just coming up nice. Yeah, it's like I said, the nose is a lot less than I would have expected. But it's there, it's nice. And this is warm. I don't know exactly where she is, but she's still cool. Anyway, let's have a go at her. Okay, it's nice and creamy. It's quite smooth. Not getting a lot of individual type flavours, but we'll give it time and give the palate a second to work into it. It's it's light, reasonably light for a for a Russian Imperial, and again 8.5%. It's only guessing, so I don't even know for sure exactly what where he went with it, but it's at the lower end of the the Russian Imperial, but it does fit into the range. So there's nothing really jumping out, no big no big chocolate or coffee, no big malt hit. It's just all very smooth and mellow. It's nice. It's quite enjoyable. It's not there's no hint of really of alcohol in there. It may develop a little bit more warmth, but it's not really sitting there. It doesn't have that warming feeling that you quite often get with a higher alcohol. And again, like I said, 8.5. It's not pushing real high. That's a nice beer. I think you can really I think I can sort of picking that there's a whack of the dry malt there. I think that's part of that sort of level sort of flavour thing that's going on. Because there's not so much grain there having its big effect. I'd be interested to see Dave's full recipe, to see what he has used, where he's cut corners and stuff. Well, not cut corners, but where he's brought the recipe down to get the dry malt in there. Ferment temp and stuff like that. Because I'd imagine he's probably wanting to keep that sort of a lot of that information close to his chest, which is fair enough. You take out the best in the show. You don't necessarily want to go just throwing that around, that sort of thing. You do want to keep a little bit to yourself. So for me, I really would have expected a lot more. Individual noticeable flavours, through the beer. So it sort of surprised me a little bit just how clean and smooth it is. Okay, that booze is starting to come on a little bit now. She's getting a little bit warmer. Another 10 minutes warming, a little bit of get some interaction with the hands, and that boozy note starting to come on a little bit. But it's like I said, aside from the that I was expecting bigger peaks, the beer just sits really nice. It's really easy to drink. It still feels complex, but while still being being approachable and seeming to be fairly simple. which, yeah, I know, and yeah, most of us know, that's not an easy thing to achieve. I think there's certainly probably benefited from sitting for, you know, a year in his, you know, in a box in his shed or his garage or wherever he keeps his beer, because, you know, that's probably a big part of that smoothness and where all those flavours have integrated and come together and not playing the individual sort of thing. You know, which is again is, you know, sort of why I'm expecting that sort of thing, because you generally don't get your hands on beers that have aged for 12 months. They're generally whacked out a lot sooner than that by, you know, breweries and stuff. So when you're drinking an Imperial, they're generally not that old. They're a bit older, but not that. So this is, yeah, it's aged lovely. I'm sure he would have got a nice surprise. It was the first time he pulled a bottle out after, you know, sitting it for so long and expecting it to, you know, I assume he was expecting it to get bloody super highly carbed and whatnot. The carb is, yeah, really nice. Yeah, so David, mate, that's a bloody nice beer. But you don't need to be told that. You know that. You're drinking more of it than anybody else is. The judges have certainly reiterated that. And big thing for all brewers to take out of that is that, you know, that same old argument that you can make a bloody good beer with extract. You don't need to be all grain. I mean, there's amount of grain in there, yes, but there's also a lot of extract. So it's hard to deny that it is certainly usable and, you know, works in your beer. So guys, that's it. David Hall's version of the Tsar's Revenge Russian Imperial Stout. I will put a link down below to Jamils' full recipe for those that are interested. As I said, can't give you David's, don't have David even wants to share it, but that's fine by me. I'm just happy to get to have a glass of it. So that's me. I'm done. I'm going to finish this fella. I need to take a snap of this before I finish it. But for now, if you got any comments or questions, stick them down the bottom. Alright, till I see you again when we're brewing beer, drinking beer or talking beer. Good brewing.